I would also like to emphasize that recording is strictly prohibited. There will be no use of cameras, of cell phones.
What we want to accomplish tonight, our goals are to educate people about what the nature of this event is, who this soldier is and the organizations he's connected to, and what the international significance of what's going on in Palestine is for folks who might not know, folks just attending the event.
And then Lila's going to blow the whistle 3 times. That will signify for everyone to stand up.
We'll have people go in as early as possible, try to fill up at least the front row. Also have people holding like 4 signs with facts about Palestinian political prisoners, home demolitions, things like that.
Right here! If we can kick that, follow them. If we can kick that, follow them. Just as a backup.
At the very beginning of the event, we had this group of elderly ladies named the Raging Grannies, and they're a community group that do a lot of anti-war demonstrations and have done for a long time. And they came and they sang for us during the beginning, as people were entering. There was actually an audience. Everyone that wanted to be at this event was in the audience while the Raging Grannies sang. And it was really, really wonderful.
When we make peace instead of war, when we make peace instead of war.
You could see the look on different folks' face as like specifically folks that were there in support of this war criminal, like their faces being like both like, huh, these ladies are really awesome, but huh, they're singing about freeing Gaza. So I thought it was like a really like special moment that these old elderly ladies were like getting the crowd riled up in a really like calming and peaceful way.
Where we stand, let killing cease within this land.
There was such high security that we had to wait in the lobby for maybe half an hour. It was so intense. Everyone was in the lobby, really close together. You know, lots of security, which is always frightening, and above on the second floor of FPH, I think a pro-Palestinian banner dropped, and maybe another one, and then an Israeli flag dropped, and then a Palestinian flag dropped, and then a banner dropped, and then another banner dropped, and then all of a sudden there are these like Israeli chants, and then all of a sudden there are these Palestinian chants. It was really just like a battle. And I was crying, and people that I had been talking right next to, I had been talking to right before, having like casual conversations with, all of a sudden we're just like chanting 2 different things at each other, like immediate enemies. It was intense. It was intense, and it was just, I guess, shocking.
Single file, folks.
We wanted to insert something into that conversation, into that event, that didn't make it easy to just sit there and imagine that it was like any other event, like someone coming to speak about agriculture or, you know, making cheese or something. This is a soldier coming from a nation state which has the 4th largest military in the world that has been engaging in the ethnic cleansing of the indigenous population of the land. And that is what we were intending to highlight.
We're heeding the call of Palestinians and Palestinian students not to normalize the situation of the occupation and pretend that there's any parity between the occupier and the occupied, and really put our foot down.
We were doing a walkout, and around like 15 to 20 minutes into the action, the room got really heated right before that, and we did end up walking out a little earlier, I think, than we expected. But yeah, so as a quick reason for that, I'm really glad I got to get out.
I was sitting in the audience, and I was holding one of the signs that said, and I didn't even know I was holding it. I looked down and it said, "Never again for anyone." And I'm sitting here listening to Anthony, you know, using Judaism, as the case is, to promote Zionism and to justify Zionism and to justify ethnic cleansing, you know, based on the idea that Israel is an historic biblical homeland for Jewish people, and that completely negates the livelihoods of the thousands and thousands of Palestinians who have been living there for centuries.
I am Jewish. I was killed in the Holocaust. Never again for anyone.
If you are going to peacefully leave, please do so.
Excuse me, the lady who's Jewish. The lady who's Jewish, and therefore uses her Judaism as validity for her opinion. Could you please give me the title of last week's Torah portion?
So I looked down at the sign, and I wasn't planning to say anything. It wasn't part of the plan, but I felt really compelled to, you know, state some kind of connection that I have, claiming being anti-Zionist, and claiming being Jewish, and that so many Jews are against Israel's illegal occupation, and that I don't think is very understood.
You could talk about some of the important moments of the evening for you.
One of the most significant was when he announced that he could no longer continue. I think that was a huge success on our part, a success on the part of the disruptors and the power of the opposition in the room.
I don't believe that his kind of talk, where he was dismissing Israeli, or rather the IDF's war crimes, where he was dismissing the IDF and Israel's role in the conflict, I don't consider that nonviolent, and I don't believe that has any place in any academic institution.
None of the action happened as it was planned. Giving it, not just I think for all the people who were there, not with either like side, but also giving me an impression that we had just, you know, sort of gone over the brink. But even knowing that and even feeling that in the event, I have no shame whatsoever.
What? You felt like you had to leave?
It was just horrifying. He was just like, I mean, first of all, he was talking like all in theory, like it was all like as if there were no like Middle Eastern people in the room.
A lot of us were holding signs. We had signs of Palestinian children killed in Kaslet just in one military operation. At one point he asked someone to read the name, and so she read her sheet, I read my sheet, maybe two other people read theirs.
And he said, well, I don't know anything about that, and my political feelings are not important, they're not relevant. But I can tell you that I've seen people die too.
But he let us read like 4, and then he read like 10, and it just felt like the most disrespectful presentation of these names that I've ever seen. And we had to leave. We just couldn't listen to it anymore.
Having that vigil space was a really caring and loving act, and an act of remembrance.
No justice, no peace. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey.
When this like vigil space like grew, and we're like, you know what, like we've been quiet and singing very like PC, hippie, lovey songs all night. Like it's like we're angry too, and we want to like show it, and like ended up singing some like louder, angry chants. That was a circle of a lot of people who hadn't met each other, and I think to be like holding hands in a circle like that, again looking inward, not like screaming at the like few folks that were at the event in support of it, but instead like looking at one another and being like, this is our community, this is like the people you can look to and support.
Thank you all for, I love you all, and thank you so much for just knowing, you know the purity of knowing, coming here. Let's hold on to each other. Come on, everyone.